We have a special guest today on Primetime Local News. The MP for the Battlefords Lloydminster, Rosemarie Falk, is here. Rosemarie, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join me.
Absolutely, yes, thanks for having me.
Well, I know you have a busy summer ahead, and we'll talk about that, but first I want to talk about the Conservative victory in the by-election this week. What has that done for the party, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, this is a riding, Toronto-St. Paul's, that we haven't held since 30 years ago, a long time ago. And I think, you know what this says is Canadians really want to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. And I think it's evident, especially with Jagmeet Singh and the NDP propping up the Trudeau Liberals over and over and over again, that has been made very clear that they're not on the right path that Canadians want.
So how do you build on this momentum now and keep it going until the next election?
That's a great question, right? I think also too that this is an example and evidence that Conservatives have been listening to Canadians. They're hearing the concerns from people all across Canada, even in those ridings that are maybe strongholds for the NDP or the Liberals. And I think it's also evident that their representatives may not be listening to them and taking their concerns to Ottawa. And I think, you know, as long as we keep listening and introducing ideas or pieces of legislation in the House of Commons that reflects what Canadians want, I think that's one way to keep momentum going.
Well, let's talk about you personally now. I know we have the summer, which most people get to relax in the summer, but it doesn't sound like that's the case for you, Rosemarie. Tell me about what's happening for you for the summer.
Yeah, I mean, every community has, you know, their community days. Sometimes they have parades or their fairs or those type of things. So I know there's the Blueberry Festival in St. Walburg, which will be in August. There's a couple parades. Battleford has their parade in August, as does North Battleford. I've made my way up to Frenchman Butte. I know they have their parade also in August. And then we have Colonial Days here too, coming up shortly, like in a couple of weeks. So we're kind of everywhere within the riding this summer, and also to meeting with constituents, listening to their concerns, small businesses and that type of thing. So my office is very, very busy in the summer months.
Well, let's talk about the session that just wrapped, Rosemarie. What are some of the things that you feel like you've accomplished personally and then also as a party?
Absolutely. So personally for myself, I had my private members bill, which was to create an adoption benefit for families that adopt or have children through surrogacy. So that was kind of wrapped up. The Liberals did take it. They put it in their fall economic statement. So I'm awaiting for a royal assent on that and when that becomes law. With the party, I mean, when we look as Conservatives, we've opposed Justin Trudeau's inflationary spending at every turn and every time that he's produced that. We've also, you know, exposed corruption within the government, whether it was with the McKinsey contracts that were being handed out to government Liberal insiders, the Green Slush Fund, which was billions of dollars, the Arrive scam app. There was these things that Conservatives pushed at committee that actually brought to light, and we had seen. We also had the opportunity to promote and introduce different types of legislation through private members' bills. So some of them was getting rid of the unconstitutional plastics ban. We know that what the court has said about that. Removing the GST off the carbon tax, you know, doing these things to make life more affordable and easier for Canadians. The most recent that comes to mind is we offered and suggested that the government remove fuel tax off of gas and diesel from May long to September long, just to give a break, you know, to Canadians. I mean, that adds up to like 35 cents a liter, just, you know, something so that they can go and have time for themselves this summer. But we do know that the Liberals said that basically Canadians that are taking road trips with their families are encouraging and letting the planet burn. So that's where the Liberals are definitely sitting on this, and we just want to make life affordable again for Canadians.
So now what about once you get through the summer, because I know we're going to blink and it's going to be over, and then you're heading back for the next session. Have you thought that far ahead, Rosemarie? Have you started making plans, or do you want to just try and get through the summer first and then go?
I want to try and get through the summer, but I can tell you that September is starting to get booked up, and then we'll be back. Also recognizing we are in a minority parliament. I mean, we know that the NDP has said that they will hold on till Justin Trudeau says, let's go. But you never know, especially with this last win. Who knows? I mean, I think with this last win, it's evident that Justin Trudeau needs to call an election now and have a referendum on his carbon tax, because I think we know what side Canadians are on. And they want an election. I hear from constituents all the time, it's time for an election. It's time for an election.
Well, and that was going to lead me to my next question, Rosemarie. Obviously, you're out and about, you get emails, you get letters and phone calls, and what seems to be the hot button items in this constituency that people are talking to you about?
Yeah, majority carbon tax. I would say that's number one issue, which ties into affordability. Everywhere I go, I just hear how life has gotten so expensive, whether it's rent, whether it's groceries, whether it's fuel, it's everything has just gotten more and more expensive. And again, Canadians are just needing a break. And this is where I think it leads into why aren't we having an election? We need to have an election like yesterday. Yeah.
All right. Well, Rosemarie, I really appreciate your time coming in. As I said, I know you are so busy. If people are looking to either contact you, if they want to just send you an email and let their opinions be known on certain issues, or contact you, what's the best way that they can do that, and so that you are hearing their voices if you don't have time to meet them?
Absolutely. So they can call my local office here. Even if they call Ottawa, we can get that sorted out, and I can get back to them. Email is great too, but I also send out quite regularly little mailers, and you can kind of have your say, fill it out, and send it back to me. We, myself and my office staff, have an opportunity to look through those, and sometimes meetings come out of that, or tours of, if it's a small business or an organization, come out of that. So it's really important to be able to be involved and have opinions and have two-way conversations.
Well, Rosemarie, thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a good summer. I'm sure we'll see you around at a number of events anyways.
For sure.
But thanks for coming in today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.